Hey guys, back with another episode. This time around we have Jaden in the house, which is good to see, and Phil is back with the re-up. I got a lot of feedback on the last one. Audio was not that great, so I decided to bring Phil in studio, and we kind of rehashed some of the same stuff that we talked about before. And then, of course, I go venturing off into other shit, and Jaden kind of follows suit and does the same thing, and then we kind of bring it back, get a little bit real towards the end. Anyway, take a listen. It's another good episode. Also, share. This thing's starting to grow a little bit, which is nice. We start to see some of the statistics come back. So please keep sharing. Please keep listening. And if you guys are interested on coming on, I am more than happy to have you on. Just send me an instant message, Dill, or hit me up on Facebook. Either way. Anyway, without further ado. Okay, we are back with Phil. This was not going to be part 2 of the series, so we'll do another part 2. This is mostly due to your shitty ass cricket phone dropping connection on Discord, and then having to cut it short on the first one because Jaden had to leave.
Okay.
So, without further ado, it's Fallopian Tube back in the house.
It's Phil Nye.
Phil Nye, the boner guy.
Yes, I do have boners all day long, every day.
Damn. He's coming out the gate strong. Okay.
No, I'm totally straight, but...
Phil, how many drugs are you on right now?
0.
Are you recovering from last night?
Yeah, I smoked some weed last night.
That's a drug.
You have to recover from that?
No.
What the hell?
Smoking weed is a drug.
It's a plant medicine.
Okay. Whatever the fuck ever. Okay. All right. So, Phil, let's do a recap, man. Let's hear about the childhood, and then I'm going to just open it up to me questioning you about everything again.
Okay, the childhood. So...
Last time you were moving back to Idaho because of that crazy guy in Wyoming.
Yeah, they could do that. Try to touch you.
Oh, yeah. The Cokeville bombing. Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's go further back, since now we have audio and video on this. Life in Burley as a little guy growing up.
Well, I mean, you're still little, not.
So life in Burley as a little guy. So I basically, my dad, my grandpa owned a dairy. My dad was buying it from him. And so...
Is that why everything you do is legendary?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Yeah.
You just watch a lot of How I Met Your Mother?
I've seen quite a lot of episodes. The last season, I kind of zoned out because I watched it after it came out, and everybody was like, well, yeah, How You Met My Mother was such a stupid ending, so I'm like...
Wait, you came out? You just said after you came out.
I came out, heterosexual. That's what I came out.
Okay.
Before that, I thought I was asexual. I didn't like...
What's asexual?
Asexual is when you don't have any sexual feelings for a man or a woman. Yeah.
What made you think that you were asexual?
I didn't hit puberty yet, and I didn't like girls.
All right, fair enough. How old were you?
Like 11.
Well, you usually don't hit puberty till like 12 or 13. So, I mean, I guess all little kids are asexual until they're not, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so you grew up super LDS. I actually had a friend reach out to me after the first recording and wanted to argue the validity of what you were saying, because what you were saying is not true, is what he said. He eventually wants to come on and argue with you. And
about what?
about the validity of what you were saying regarding the church. Basically, he was saying you're full of shit.
About the Book of Mormon turning me into a racist.
Yes.
Yeah, I got some scriptures to read to him then.
Yeah. We'll get into that later.
I wonder how that goes, though. It's like, what are you going to argue about? Because you have one person, I don't know, your friend, though. Maybe he's grown up here in Utah versus small town, little ward, Idaho, Mormonism. You know what I mean?
It's true. This would be like the clash of the titans here.
Well, small town Idaho Mormonism is like ultra conservative, so
He's ultra conservative too. It's just he was listening to what you were saying and really questions the whole thing with the LDS Church. So
is he still a believing Mormon or what?
I believe so. I didn't really get into that with that. It was kind of funny. It was a 5-minute phone call that turned into 2 hours, and it was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" When it was all said and done, I told him he missed the entire point of the show, which was your miraculous story that I know from our time as friends, that I wanted you to share with the world. With you coming out of the gates today, swinging, your story. Like, you don't have a lot of energy, so I need you to like pump that energy up a little bit.
Okay.
So let's get into it. Let's get into your crazy fucking mom.
Yeah, my crazy fucking mom.
So after the bombing in Wyoming, right?
Yeah, at the Cokeville Elementary School.
I would move to Cokeville just because of that fucking name. But anyway. All right, so Cokeville
where they do lots of coke.
Whatever, man.
Not cocaine. Coke the drink.
I guess that's the LDS way, but no. All right, so Cokeville got bombed. Your mom went super psycho after that, protected all of your kids, right?
Yeah, so as soon as that happened, we moved back to the Idaho border side of things. So I started going to A.J. Winters Elementary instead of Cokeville Elementary.
I don't know how the fuck you remember that. I don't even remember what elementaries I went to. How do you remember that? You only went to one?
Two. Well, yeah, two.
All right.
Cokeville and A.G. Winters in Montpelier, Idaho.
Yeah, like I remember my one from 5th grade, and that's it. All the ones before that, no idea.
Nothing.
Nope.
It was great.
You had a lot of friends.
What could I say?
I mean, did you have a lot of friends growing up that were also part of the church?
Oh yeah, it was like 90% LDS in Montpelier, Idaho.
So what was it like then if you're in Idaho and there's somebody that's not going to your church?
What is it like?
Yeah,
you guys just like...
You guys like burn crosses, put your hoods on, and do all that shit?
You drive by and you're just like, oh, we don't talk to him.
No, it's just...
Or do you like look at these guys and they're like, don't talk to them, they have dirty dick beaters?
No, it's actually the opposite. They're like, these are lost souls and you need to help them come into the light and know the true gospel and the true Jesus, and we need to convert those people.
What if they're not of white descent?
I mean...
You don't try as hard?
The church kind of disavowed the whole racist thing after they allowed blacks to have the priesthood.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of was like this whole little shift where, oh, wait, now God is telling us that we need to accept people of other races because God now has told us that the blacks can receive the priesthood. So
you know the Mormon church is a little slow on things, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they got their wagons, they went out west, they had 29 wives just pumping kids out, and then in order for Utah to be a state, they had to stop doing that, which they agreed to. And then, what was it, 1980-something is when they allowed blacks to do the priesthood?
1978.
1978.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Martin Luther King was already dead by then.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Little slow. No, I'm not judging. Just a little slow on that timeline there. So Anyway, so you guys just jump head first right into that LDS life, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically your whole paradigm, because they basically have the whole answers to everything. Well, this is the reason why we're here on Earth is to gain a body, and the reason that we're being tried is why we have all this sexual energy that we have to repress because God sent us here to Earth to master our
Bation.
yes. No master of my Bayesian or your Bayesian or anybody's Bayesian, but
So basically, they just told you got to live this certain lifestyle in order to get to one of the three.
yeah, the 3 kingdoms of glory.
All right.
The highest one is where you have to be like on the straight and narrow. And
So your mom's going to the highest one.
oh yeah, I mean my mom.
Would she kill someone to get to that level? Like if she had to sacrifice you, would she do it?
Oh, she'd probably do it in a heartbeat.
I mean the church doesn't shun people like they used to, but I mean,
Like who determines what level you get to?
And when you reach the highest level, do
Yeah.
you meet the highest person in the church?
Do you get like a gold star or some like plaque, a certificate, or?
no, the person that decides that is God, Jesus, and
All right, so it's not like bishop.
no, not initially, but then they're like, well, also the elders of Israel will also judge you at the judgment bar.
So who are the elders of Israel? Is that like the original,
That's like
Cain and Abel and all them?
yeah, so not Cain and Abel,
The Israelites?
the 12 original apostles,
And who are they?
Peter, James,
So the
John.
12 that followed Jesus around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They also judge,
Yes.
which is not in the book or the Bible.
No, but it is in the Doctrine and Covenants.
Well, I know that.
Joseph's made up scriptures. Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
To each their own.
Okay.
I know he's got a checkered past. I know the angry mob got him.
Yeah.
And then old Brigham decided to take the show out west, right?
Right.
And then they got to the valley and the famous words, "This is the place."
Mm-hmm.
And then that god-awful school down south named their university after him, right? BYU.
Oh yeah, BYU. Yeah.
Are you descendants from any of the LDS, like the higher-ups?
Yeah.
You are?
I have descendants from the Smith family bloodline and also the Brigham Young family bloodline.
Well, I feel like everybody Mormon would have a direct line from Brigham Young.
Yeah, with his 50-some wives and
The problem is they come late.
some kids.
Well,
Yeah.
they come like later on, like once the party's already like settled and everyone's having a good time. Then you get people that are like, "Oh shit, yeah, let's go, let's do this." Then you get different families involved. Like I didn't grow up LDS, but my mother's maiden name was McKay. Should tell you all you need to know.
Oh yeah, Big McKay is in the Mormon Church.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I believe there was a prophet last name McKay, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a new prophet McKay.
No.
You're looking right at him, motherfucker.
Okay, prophesy. I mean, that's one of the things that actually made me leave the church is the whole COVID thing. And
Why? What did they do during COVID that caused you to leave?
well, for one, we're supposed to have this prophet that can prophesy. If something huge like the COVID pandemic was going to happen, it just seemed logical to me that here's a prophet of God, and why isn't he telling everybody to prepare for it and telling everybody what's going to happen?
That's because the Chinese government didn't even know.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be a prophet, and God's supposed to know all things.
Hold on. You're thinking like Nostradamus, like motherfuckers are going to tell the future, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that goes. I think a prophet is someone who, whether you're elected or not, or tapped on the forehead by God, or however that shit works in all the different religions, is a person that takes a religion in a certain direction, not prophesizing, COVID's coming here, so,
And I think it'd be more of like a bigger event, not, COVID was pretty big, but
maybe like the second coming.
Like, not enough to wipe 2-3 billion people off of the face of the earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
I think your definitions on some things are a little different than what they're telling you. Like, you have infinite more knowledge than I do on this stuff. But I think we run into situations where, like, you hear prophet and you're hearing, like, fortune teller type shit. And I don't think that's what that position is for.
Okay, if a prophet's going to prophesy, what's he going to prophesy about?
About the direction of the church, where it's going, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, messages from God.
Yeah, and they're kind of a little bit behind the times. It's like they look at the world and then they decide what they're going to say, instead of the other way around where they have foreknowledge about the direction of the world and can basically direct the church,
You know, the last person that did any prophecy with the LDS church died, right?
Yeah.
His name was Joseph Smith.
Yeah.
He got killed for that shit. At that point, when you think, you'd be like, no, not a good idea. Let's see how this rolls out.
So you're telling me that the prophet actually fears man more than God? Is that what you're telling me?
No, because I think all religions fear God more than anything.
Well, that's what they say.
Okay, I'll give you that, but I guess I don't know. I guess what my definition of a prophet is different than yours, because you don't have the Pope sitting up on his pedestal telling everyone, in 3.4 years an asteroid's going to hit the Earth, and it was nice knowing you, right?
Right.
Or you don't have whoever is running the Muslim church, which no one does, but you have those guys making predictions like, hey, we're going to slam a building or slam a plane into a building. Like, watch your backs. They make those predictions. Sometimes they don't come true. But like Christians, like you have the crazy Christians, like they'll make predictions, but that's usually because you got some snake oil salesman making a ton of fucking money off donations, blessing people. Like, bam, and then they go into like seizure and shit. That's fake as fuck. I can tell you that right now. But I'm not protecting the Mormons. I think your definitions are off just a little bit is all.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like I've I've experienced religious trauma from growing up in the Mormon church.
So talk about that.
So, one thing is the Mormon church is very fear-based. They're all about, well, you got to live this certain way or you're going to go to hell or you're going to not be able to go to a higher degree of kingdom.
But don't you think Catholics are like that too?
Yeah. Pretty much all
I think
Christian
it's
religions.
easier to repent in the Catholic Church because you say the Hail Marys and walk out of the booth and you're good.
Yeah, and pay the priest for,
No.
for your indulgences. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. They don't do that anymore, but they used to.
I thought you were going to take that a whole different way. Like, here's my kid.
Yeah. Here's my kid. He wants to be an altar boy.
Give him the Bishop Nelson.
The Bishop Nelson.
All right. Anyway. All right. So religious trauma. What else besides the fear base? I feel like looking back at our relationship and then looking back at the last episode we did, I feel like, and it's like this for all religions, when you start to take the shit out of the Bible very literal instead of what the overall message is.
Figurative, yeah.
That's when people get in trouble. And I feel like your mom and probably your dad to an extent are very literal people, Mm-hmm. And that causes issues, I think, because it's then projected onto you kids and that's all you fucking know. And then you either go like way further into it or you do what you did, which was, pull the parachute cord and eject out of it.
Well, I was fully in it for most of my life. I went on a mission for full 2 years. Really, I mean, what really pulled me out of the religion was, I don't know if I told you this yet, but I started dabbling in, psychedelics. And my first psychedelic was...
What about butt sex?
No butt sex.
All right, go on.
No, fully and committed to, heterosexual lifestyle.
I know. You got out of the asexual cocoon.
Yeah, I got out of the asexual cocoon.
All right.
Anyways, and so, my life wasn't feeling fulfilled in my life.
So what psychedelic did you take that opened up your mind, or your third eye, as they like to call it?
Ayahuasca.
Okay.
Ayahuasca.
What? So I want to know about your first ayahuasca deal, because I was reading up on it. This is something I might want to try one day.
Oh, okay.
So I want to know that experience.
Yeah, I mean, be prepared for your whole life to be turned upside down, because it's really mind expanding. But yeah, so I had a health coach that I was visiting with, and I read this book called Game Changers. It's basically different ways that people were able to change their game in life.
Okay.
And so I read that book. It talked about ayahuasca, and when it talked about it, I was really drawn to it. I was like, whoa, this is something new that I've never even heard of, and I thought I've heard of everything.
So you felt like you were Joseph Smith that just got the first gold plate? Is that what you felt like?
Felt like you just follow the salamander to the plate, or what?
Yeah, the salamander.
Yeah,
the magical salamander. Anyways, no. So, my friend, he actually was putting on ayahuasca ceremonies here in the Salt Lake Valley.
the same life coach.
No, my life coach's son.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were health coach. She was mostly my health coach.
Is this Allison?
No, this
Okay.
is way before I even met Allison.
Okay.
Even way before I moved here.
Okay, so this was in Idaho.
Yeah, and Allison, I didn't meet Allison until...
We'll get into that.
It was like my fourth ayahuasca ceremony, fifth or something.
We'll get into that a little bit later. But
Okay.
so you're like, cool, I'm down. And then what do? Do you like hop in a teepee with coals everywhere and you like sweat your balls off type shit, or?
No, that's a sweat lodge.
Okay.
Similar.
I don't know this shit.
People have had similar experiences in sweat lodges as psychedelics.
Okay. All right. So what is, for the people, what is ayahuasca? Is it a weed or a plant?
Yeah, it's two plants from the Amazonian rainforest that they mix together.
Like mate together, or do they just like take one and two and put it together?
Yeah, they boil it.
Okay.
They turn it into this like this brew, this tea that you drink.
Okay.
And it has DMT in it.
What is DMT?
Dimethyltryptamine.
So it's a triple trip.
Yeah, it's a triple trip. Di-trip.
All right, go on.
And then it's very ceremonial. It came from the natives in North and South America, before the settlers came over here.
So it wouldn't be North America; it'd be Central and South America.
Okay, yeah, Central and South America. I don't know, maybe the North Americans actually had like mushrooms and stuff.
Okay.
That's what they...
So, but hold on though. So is it like Incan, Mayan, Aztec?
Yeah. Mayan and Aztec mostly, yes.
Okay. All right.
They were really...
I know the timeline that supposedly these people existed. And they're all different. So I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page. So, all right. They brew up this tea. Mm-hmm. What goes on in the ceremony?
They have very beautiful music. Well, most of them have really beautiful music. Others are more...
Like death metal?
No, more tribal, more drums and.
So more North American.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the native population kind of mixed with each other
Did
through
it, though?
the years.
Did it?
I mean, a little bit. They had to.
Jaden,
Jaden, you're the official.
I'm just over here.
you're Native American.
No, I am too. Just so you know, I got my DNA tested.
Oh, goddamn.
116.
No, I'm only 2%, but I am. I'm related.
You're like the senator from
yeah.
Elizabeth Warren. You're like
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Which is funny because
You ought to fucking go back to school and get the loan.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they'll let me.
They let her. That's a true story.
That is a true story.
Yeah, man. You could write a cookbook like she did, cooking with Polka. You know, you talk about Navajo tacos and shit. Probably some of the most racist shit coming from a white person. But because she's a Democrat, everyone's like, oh, shit, this is great. She's sharing her heritage. And everyone's like, well, who the fuck is this bitch?
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So Native American, ceremonial. Some have beautiful music. Some have more ceremonial drum. Do you feel that enhances or takes your trip into a different area?
I mean, it definitely affects your trip for sure.
Have you ever done ayahuasca on death metal? Because I feel like this could be something we should try.
I would encourage you not to do it.
Okay.
I mean, that's a bad trip waiting to happen, in my opinion.
Well, I feel like it's per person because I feel like for you, if somebody were to do that, then you'd have been like, "Whoa, guys, hold on, something bad's happening."
Philip's just sitting there, and all of a sudden he just hears, rah, 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 and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, because it really enhances your senses. So
I feel like if I did it,
Really?
I did a death metal one, and they're like talking about the devil. I'm all, "Yes, Father." All right. So what? So you hold on. So you drink the tea. They start. I'm sure they're playing their music before. And then what happens next? Because I know we've talked about this. I definitely want people to know this. Mm-hmm. You start shitting all over, right?
no, I throwing up.
You throw up a lot.
Yeah. Well, my first time, I only threw up once,
Okay, so they're like, "Damn, Philip
and there's
He could
been
hang.
from Joseph Smith clan is a fucking master at this shit. He only threw up once."
yeah, and I've had other ceremonies where I didn't throw up at all. So
Damn.
He's just saying that like,
but it's everybody's different and everybody has a different experience.
So what was your first experience? What launched you out of the church and to go down the rabbit hole or the life you live now? Which
It was a slow progression, but it was mostly it helped me open my eyes to the cultiness of the Mormon church.
so you feel the church is a cult.
Yeah.
Okay, why?
I mean, here you got this one person, Joseph Smith, that says that he's had miraculous things happen to him. And the reason why you don't have any miraculous things happen to you is because, number one, you're not righteous enough. Number two, you don't have enough faith. And
All of this is true for me.
Yeah. But I view it as, cultic manipulation
Okay.
to subject you to do his will because he wants to be the, basically the cult leader.
The guy.
That basically has.
The dude, like from Big Lebowski.
Yeah, the dude.
All right.
It's the dude. Yeah. That's a good movie.
Okay.
Anyways, so
Me and Jaden are probably going to get a lot of hate mail for this still.
For what? I mean, you can cut it out. We can talk about other stuff.
Oh, hell no. We're not cutting this out. Hell no. I don't cut shit out. He edits for sounds and noises. Everything that we record fucking goes on. Like, I don't care. I'm not here.
Okay. Well, you're acting like you're caring.
No. I'm making a joke that we're going to get like.
He's going to get another phone call for 5 minutes. That's going to turn into another 2-hour deal.
Yeah.
Oh, because you have an anti-Mormon that used to be Mormon on your podcast?
No. Just the validity of what you say, which I'm more interested to know now if he comes on or if he calls me, which Brandon fucking call me. I want to talk about this shit.
Yeah, and I'll debate you. I mean, I know where you're coming from because I've been there. So
we'll do a show. We'll literally have the battle of the religion deal, and he'll come on and we'll have you back in studio and you guys can battle it out. Me and Jaden will just watch. I won't say a fucking word. I'll just let you guys go at it.
Yeah, and we'll battle. And just so you know, I do love all the Mormons out there. I feel.
You ever corrupted a Mormon since you've been out?
No.
You know, I've corrupted a Mormon before.
Yeah, what did you do?
I used to be like the Hunger Games for me.
He actually used to work at and
who?
His name is, you guys don't know him, from a long time ago.
You gotta bleep out what you just said.
Yeah, he was
company.
He used to work at the company, and but he legit just came back from his mission, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm super for this. Let's do this." And then like a year goes by, and me and Delvis, and we're all just fucking with him, like, "Hey man, try this out.
Pretty much got him high as fuck, so he slept in his car like
at work.
No. One time we gave him they're like these natural gummy bears. They're just like made of natural flavors.
There's nothing in them.
No. So we're eating them. We're like, "Oh yeah, dude, we're feeling good." And he's like, "What are you guys eating?" We're like, "Here, man, try one." Tries one, and he's like, "Oh yeah, these are pretty good. Tastes a little weird, but yeah, they're good." We didn't tell him they're all natural gummy bears.
He's like, "It feels like I just did ayahuasca."
So then he comes over to me. He's like, "Man, I just ate those gummy bears." I'm like,
all of them?
"You just ate all those gummy bears?" And he's like, "Yeah. Why?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, you're gonna feel that in a few minutes, dude. Trust me." And he's like, No. So then he went by like 30 minutes. He's like, "Man, I'm starting to feel good." And we're like, we're just laughing because we're like, he's not. No, there's nothing in those gummy bears, and he's just over here trying to act like he's a little high or something. But then, so a few months go by though. Completely, he was all for, "I want to be a virgin, get married in the temple." Yeah, it was like 6 months after that, he lost his virginity to some girl that he met on some dating app. And
Tinder.
Dude, it's just downhill from there.
Those fucking gummies, man. That said him. That was the course. He ate the gummies that didn't have shit in them, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm dirty. I can't go to that celestial kingdom anymore." So
dude.
Let's crash and burn. Let's fuck this shit up.
I can't even remember the swear word he used to use. It wasn't even a swear word.
Darn
it was a Mormon swear word.
Darn it.
Like,
Darn it.
Fridge or
Fetch.
That's fetch. Oh my gosh! You see, I told you. He'd
What
be like,
the fetch?
What the fetch? Fetch.
6 months later, he's like, "You fucking motherfucker."
Yeah, Fetch is a big Mormon.
Oh man. I feel like when Phil worked with us, we corrupted him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a little bit of that.
He corrupted the fuck out of me.
Phil was on the borderline right there, and then he met you, and then it was like, all right.
Yeah. Oh man, some of our nights out were awesome.
Yeah, we had some good nights out.
First time we did. Let me preface: I don't live this lifestyle anymore.
You should.
No, but
feels like I miss you.
But
I miss you, man.
I know.
Come out with me. Come to the bar with me and help me pick up ladies.
Show me how to get pussy. No, so like when you when you got comfortable around us, me and Cisco and him went out one night, and the whole time he was just like, "Man, I just want some cocaine. I've never done it before." And I was like, "You never done cocaine?" He's like, "No." And then Cisco's like, "Well, that's funny because I went to the bar last night, ran into some like biker Mexican dudes, and I asked them if they had cocaine, and they just gave it to me for free. I was like, oh, there you go, Phil. So he goes up there and he just does the line, and he's just like, wow. I was like, well, you didn't do a lot, but it doesn't take a lot in the beginning to fuck you up.
He's over there doing dick dingers with Cisco.
Yeah, yeah. And the next thing I know, he's like, do you guys want Molly? And I was like, you've had Molly the entire fucking time and didn't tell us? And he's like, yeah. I was like,
He didn't know it was that type of party, and you guys are that type of people.
well, I think he lived a lifestyle that, you know, we wouldn't approve of. And then once the cocaine came out, he's like, oh, we're good. So he gives me one. I'm like, give me two. And he's like, you really going to take two? And I said, fuck yeah, give me two. And I popped two. Holy shit. I was fucking gonzo. I ended up like just crawling next to Cisco, falling asleep on the bed. He's on the couch, and him and Cisco were talking for like, I'm not joking, 4 hours. Next thing I know, Cisco's like, Phil, shut up, go to sleep. He's like, sorry, I just feel so good. This is the shitty ass hotel room at the fucking Crystal Inn.
Oh, I thought it was a pretty nice hotel room. You ever been to the Motel 6? No, there's a shitty.
What are you doing in a Motel 6? You find somebody on State Street?
No, it's just cheap.
I feel like when summer hits, like we need to do a fucking field trip back to Burley, Idaho.
Yeah, let's do it.
Give Phil the camera. And
We can even go to Montpelier too, because I have more memories there. Just because, yeah.
He's walking the streets,
The mean streets of Montpelier.
saying hi to everybody, and they're like,
Well, we lived out in the country. My great grandpa Whitney actually homesteaded a ranch out there, so we had like this all growing up.
So is your Montpelier ranch like the Skinwalker Ranch of Idaho? Like, do you guys see shit up there?
Yeah, I did see like this ghost on this pond once. Yeah.
What is up with?
It was weird.
What is up with these ranches and fucking seeing shit?
And then there was a weird thing that happened at our house where
Someone stick their finger in your butthole.
no, the power went out, and then our freaking microwave read the word child, and it just flashed this word child after the power went out.
Like up on the ceiling, did it say molester?
No, it didn't.
Damn.
But it was weird. It was
How many
weird
people did you have
because
come over after
the
that?
ghost I saw looked like a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Like
weird.
a little white pilgrim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
I don't know. I think it was a girl. Anyways,
Was it like?
it had blonde. It looked like it had blonde hair.
Damn, that's your daughter, bro. You just saw your daughter. What she's gonna look like?
My daughter.
Yeah, she's like this big though, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know, that's some scary stuff. It was like my daughter the other day, or no, it was like a few months ago before we moved out of that place. We'd like my girlfriend would be leaving upstairs with her, and she'd be like, my daughter would be looking over there, like, bye, and my girlfriend's like, who are you saying bye to? She's like, bye, and I was like,
Damn.
and then there was one day too where I was in the center floor, and I was like, all right, let's go. And she's looking at this, like, bye. I'm like, okay, don't do that shit. Let's go.
A little demon baby.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so back to ayahuasca. We kind of went off track there for a minute. Okay, so you did your first trip, had this eye-opening experience, and you started to like religiously pull away from the church, right?
Not at first. At first, I was like, because, well,
Did it make you want to get more into it after the first go?
And did you pray afterwards, asking for forgiveness after the first time?
no.
Your body's a temple, bro.
I totally felt like, okay, so these two plants are from the earth, and
Okay, I
God
see.
created the earth, so he must have created these plants. And then also in the Book of Mormon and the Bible, it talks about how herbs are for the use of man. So I was like, well, this is an herb that God created.
So did you take it more as like God showing you the way, or Jesus is showing you the way, combining these herbs and taking you on the psychedelic trip?
Yeah, a little bit more, especially with my first experience, because with my first experience, I I basically shot out of my body into the middle of the universe, and I had all these like glowing beings around me, and they were like
The children of the light.
maybe, I don't know, but they were like, we're going to teach you about love. And I was like,
Because you needed that. You still do.
yeah, I still need more teachings about that.
I love you, man.
Do you think it's just more of the like doing drugs like that and then the stuff that you really want in your real life, and then it projects you to going to something like that, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just had an eye-opening experience. I know how to love people.
So the reason why I asked, I like that. The reason why I asked if it was like the child of the light, because one night I got YouTube Premium, so I don't have to listen to those damn commercials.
Mm-hmm.
It
Nice.
just drove me nuts one day. Anyway, I went down rabbit holes, ran into the emerald plates of Thoth. Dude, you need to watch this shit. So Thoth is from the Atlanteans, and he's like the keeper of the light.
Okay.
And he wrote on these tablets, like, in Atlantean language, whatever the hell that is, about like, here are the steps to become like one with the universe. And so he talks about like the darkness and the light, that you need both of them. And then he talks about going into like he dies, like his body dies, but then he reincarnates as well. So it's kind of cool because you start to get on like the Jesus story too. And then he comes back as Hermes, Trismegistus or some shit like that. And like that's how alchemy is born though. And so like in this deal, like he tells you like these plates are made from alchemy. They can't be damaged by weather. They can't be damaged by man-made material. Like they're just infinite. And he needed to spread all of his wisdom throughout the earth. So there's people that believe that Thoth was the creator of the pyramids. And then he sent his priests or his followers all over the world. And that's how you have all these fucking pyramids everywhere.
I thought you were about to start speaking the language.
No. I got to get it enlightened.
He's going to learn light language from the light children.
But anyway, he talks about the children of the light, though, and like how they brought the technology to the earth and like taught Thoth and his father, and they built Atlantis, and then Atlantis sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and then he founded it's called Kem, which is now like Egypt, where the fucking pyramids are at. Oh. So like it's just like all these different times he's reincarnated himself like 3 different times, and he's brought all this different knowledge,
new knowledge.
Yeah. So like somehow like Isaac Newton got a hold of one of the plates or a couple of those plates. And that's how physics was born, was from those fucking plates. So it's all this knowledge it's kind of cool. But anyway, back to the ayahuasca thing. Like that's what reminded me. I was like, oh shit, this is some Thoth type shit. I just watched this shit this week. Anyway. All right. So you saw like it took you out of your body. Mm-hmm. And then they told you like, we're going to show you love, right?
Yeah. We're gonna
have they lived up to that yet?
I mean, it was, they were.
Well, we're talking about love, not trying to get pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that they taught me was love is a spectrum.
Like autism.
I guess you could say that.
All right. So what's the spectrum? Like what? Like from...
I mean, they just demonstrated the spectrum of love through feeling. And I mean, you can have romantic love. You can have...
friendship,
brotherhood.
But they don't teach you how to like decipher, right?
No, it was mostly feelings. They were showing me what each thing of love felt like.
Okay.
And they ran me up this spectrum back and forth. I don't know how many times.
I feel like you drank this shit and got autism.
Maybe.
Because I'll tell you what, man, those I have some family members that are autistic, and they get happy just counting the bricks on the wall. Like they're just in love. There's like, oh shit, there's like 155 bricks on this fucking wall, and it blows their mind.
What a great way to live, you know? The simplest things bring you the greatest joy.
But that's how it is with life in general, though.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like out of your ayahuasca experience, what's one thing that is really simple in your life that you love that doesn't harm your body? So no drugs.
I really like driving my Jeep.
Okay.
It's a fun little vehicle. I'm glad I got it.
What about you?
Playing video games.
See, mine's recording. I love doing this shit.
Awesome.
I could do this all day.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So what was the time period between your first ayahuasca deal and your second one?
The time period.
Like months, year? Because they don't tell you like, hey, we'll see you next weekend, right? Because you got to let that shit.
Yeah, it was like 6-7 months.
Okay.
My next one.
And what did that one teach you?
That one taught me.
Was it the same?
That one pretty much taught me that you know what, society has screwed you up.
So now it's the blame game.
I mean, I don't know. Who am I blaming?
Society. That's what.
Yeah, but you can't get away from it. I mean, all the societal conditioning that we go through as children. You don't think there's any of that going on?
I mean, to an extent, yeah. Pull your mic closer to your face.
And it was also the fact that I read this book called what was it called? The Four Agreements.
Not the Four Horsemen.
No. There's this book called The Four Agreements, and I read it, and I was just like, and it talks about societal conditioning and stuff like that, and it kind of opened my eyes up. But it mostly, which was really weird because I found the book after that ayahuasca ceremony.
So you feel like it led you to that?
Yeah,
okay.
A little bit.
So what are the Four Agreements?
I don't remember.
Oh, man. This is supposed to be life-changing shit.
Literally. Just like,
how many times have I, like, quoted Corey Wayne shit to you?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I read the book a couple times. I thought it changed my life, and then I forgot about it. But one of the agreements is actually don't take anything personally.
That I agree with that, 100%.
And
also don't take things literally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so... I'll have to read the book. We can talk about it the next time or whatnot. But, yeah, and you guys should read it too.
No, I want you to read it, and I want you to come back and tell us about it.
Okay.
I'll read it if it's interesting.
Yeah.
Right now, you're not selling it. You got 1 out of 4.
Okay. I will read it again, and then I will come back, and then I will sell you on it.
You can. All right.
Sounds like a deal?
Yep.
Okay.
So what else? So you read the book. It changed you. When did you start to feel like you were pulling away from the church?
I don't know. I mean, a little bit. Probably it was even before my ayahuasca ceremony, to be quite honest. It was so I was going to BYU, Idaho, and you know, in the church, there's a lot of sexual shame. And of course, you know, I liked looking at ladies, you know, pornographically. Anyways, and I'm like, oh man, I just can't seem to lick this problem. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. You're looking at porn and you can't lick a problem.
That's another Mormon swear word for you.
Lick? I know what it means, but that was just perfect timing. Anyway, go on, you licker.
And so I'm going to BYU at Idaho, and I go up to, I'm like, well, maybe I could get like psychiatric help to help me get past this problem. So I went up to the BYU Idaho. I guess what is
the
it?
dean?
Was it like counseling?
Yeah, counseling.
Was it a counselor or was it like the dean of the school?
No, it was a counselor.
Okay.
And I told him, I need help with this, blah blah blah. Can I start counseling, and you can help me? And the weird thing is I got this vibe from him that he thought I was gay, because during the whole interview, he kind of asked me that, and when he asked me if I was gay, I was like, kind of offended.
That's a trick question. You know that, right? Because if knowing the LDS church, probably back then when you went to school, if you would have told me you're gay, they would have kicked you out.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you told them no, but you were offended. So you automatically broke the first of the 4 laws that you read that book because you got offended. You took it too serious.
I read that book after this incident happened.
Okay.
This was before I did ayahuasca and everything. This was back when I was going to BYU, Idaho. Anyways, he rejected me from having any counseling, and I was like, really?
Well, hold on. Was he a school counselor? Like, hey, these are the classes you need to take if you want to graduate? Or is this like a...
No, he was a psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist type, okay.
Yeah. He was actually one of the school's counselors that they had for,
I feel like
suicidal stuff.
I feel like every fucking school, especially the elementary schools, need to have a fucking psychologist. With all the shit that's gone on lately with the shootings, and it's like...
Yeah, I mean, if you have somebody there to process somebody through the emotions of what they're feeling, then it's more... you get more clarity going through it.
But I mean, like, I feel like it would, at least it would be like a step forward in trying to solve this mental health issue. You know what I mean?
Well, then you just like have to have the reinsurance of, because a lot of kids don't want to go and talk to anybody because they feel like they're
in trouble.
1, they're in trouble. 2, they're not getting hurt. 3,
they're ashamed.
They don't want their parents or somebody to find out.
You lived a life like that, didn't you?
I mean, haven't we all in a little ways?
No, we all have
100%.
Yeah.
Jaden was going to drop out of high school to go play video games. His mom wasn't having that shit.
Yeah, and then now look where I'm at now.
Yeah, now he's playing video games and recording.
Sweet. Now he's a streamer.
Well, it's like they say, you have a lot of childhood things that you want to do as a child, but your parents tell you no. But now you're an adult, and you have your own goddamn money. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
So I'm living my childhood dream out. I just fucking, dude, I'm like 10 grand deep in my whole setup, and it's just like,
whoa.
Yeah, I'm about 2 right now into this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, that doesn't even count the music part either. So that's another fucking $2,500, $3,000.
Whoa.
So I'm 5,000 into shit that I didn't grow up doing. There's society.
What is your dream?
I wouldn't say it's a dream. It's more of a experiment, and then get into doing it and really like it. And here we are. I mean, I'm not going to get all emotional or like religious on you. I just feel like this is a fun thing to do. And with the people that I've had on and the people that I have that are going to come on, I feel like Jaden and I have something going.
Yeah, I've listened to every episode. I've enjoyed all of them.
Do you know your episode, the very, very first one with even the shitty audio deal had what, 200 downloads?
Oh yeah. They're even like, my brother-in-law, he was all listening to it and he was all like, he even know it was us. He was really? Laughing. He was laughing at it. And then halfway through, he's like, hold up, wait a minute. Is that Phil? I'm like, yeah, dude. He's like, wait, is this you? Yeah, it's us. And he's like, oh my God, you guys are fucking hilarious.
Well, like for me at least, I didn't grow up with like this creativity. Like you tell me to draw a picture, it looks like a fucking 3-year-old drew the picture. Like I don't have that part of my brain that like, can look at something and put it on paper and it looks similar. I can't do that. My brain is very logical, but this road has like that I've gone down, and Jaden, is helping me as well, has caused like my creativity to like explode. So now it's like, as you're talking, telling the story, and I know Jaden knows me well enough, I'm already coming up with future episodes where I'm going to have you on, and you don't even know about it. And I do that with everyone that comes on. So it's like, it just expands, and it's really cool to watch it happen. And then it's cool to get the feedback too. Like, I have a buddy of mine who is probably my best critic, who just annihilates me on everything. He's like, you got to let the people talk. You need to shut up. You should have gone here. You should have gone there. And I was like, damn, bro, pick a fucking topic and come on.
No, I love it too, because he gets all the feedback, and guess what? I just edit the shit behind the scenes, upload it, fill out a little description, and I send it to him, and if he has something to say about it, guess what? Change it real quick, and then
uploads it.
It's done.
Nice. Which is cool, because if you look back when Joe Rogan first started out his podcast, like episode 1, nobody was watching that shit. It wasn't until like it was like the 600th episode that he actually went like viral.
I don't know the Joe Rogan timeline. What I would tell you is, when I came up with the idea and announced it, and then I had people reach out to me asking me like what the show was going to be about, I didn't want it to be subject specific.
Yeah.
Because like, here we are talking about your life and the interesting path that you've reached, you know. And if you look back on every single episode that I've done, these are people that I know that have interesting lifestyles as well.
It really is, because like you have Phil here, and you have like Donnie. Like, that was a great episode.
Oh yeah, Donnie was a great episode.
That was a really great episode.
I actually listened to that twice.
You have Chase, which is like
the foodie.
You know, you have Donnie starting her own business, and then you have Chase. I mean, I guess you could look at it as a business, but like you said, you start looking at it as a business, and it's really more of repetition.
Right.
And you start doing it over and over, and it's not fun anymore.
Right. And then I have Melissa, who I talked to.
Melissa, too.
I hadn't talked to her in 23 years. Had I not done this, her and I never would have connected.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And then we connected, and now I have like a whole plan, like 2-episode plan with her on dating in your 30s. Shit that you need to listen to.
Okay.
Because
he's close to 40, though. He can't.
Yeah, close to 40.
Well, no, but I mean, like, because she traveled a much different path and got to the same point that I'm at now, which you always, you know, used to try to bust my balls about why I don't date. And I would give you reasons, and I couldn't really explain it all that well. And now I have, like, Raphael from work, who does the same thing. Don't you want a family? Don't you want kids? I go, yeah, that's the ultimate goal. But I'm like, it's a whole different mindset than just jumping into relationship after relationship. I've done that. I'm good. You know, I've had my party days. I'm good. I don't do that anymore. You know, I've had the opportunity of sleeping with multiple women. Don't even know the number.
At the same time?
Sometimes. But, you know, like I feel like I've lived like a fulfilled life. Now I'm looking for like a special someone, you know. But these episodes I'm going to do with her are going to be really interesting, because it's going to expand on all these ideas. It's going to give you some do's and don'ts, but you're going to get it from the female side, and you get it from my side, which you know my side very well. But you'll also hear it from her side. So you're getting the female perspective.
Nice.
Which is why I think you need to listen to it, because I know you have troubles in your love life, and it might shed some light on the things that you think are acceptable that you're doing wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that I think are acceptable that I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, like you needing to cut your fucking hair. I've been telling you that for 2 years now.
No, I'm growing it out like Jaden's. Remember how beautiful Jaden's was? No.
Yeah, you got different type of hair. He's got that thick, coarse black hair. You got really thin red hair. And
dye it black.
I feel like I could just pull on your hair and it'll come right out.
Yeah, probably.
All right, Phil. So back to the ayahuasca, and then I'll stop running off on tangents, because, you know, my biggest critique is going to light me up on this. So that's good, though.
Okay.
All right. So you did the BYU Idaho thing. You went to go get help. They told you pretty much no.
Yeah.
So
which made me feel like I wasn't worth
Yeah,
enough.
like you're not good enough.
Yeah, especially now that it came out that the church has $100 billion. They couldn't afford a little bit to help me out.
Oh, they have more than that. That's just on paper. Come on, girl. Let's be real.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, the only other church that's bigger than they are is the Catholic Church.
Right.
And they don't disclose how much they make.
Right. Well, the Mormon church didn't either until the whistleblower came out because they were hiding money from the government.
I'm not even going to get into that, but it's almost impossible to do it with their tax exemption. It doesn't matter what they put on paper.
It really doesn't.
Well, why did the government charge them $5 million for making shell companies?
If they have shell companies with a 501c3 tax exemption, then they're stupid. There's no reason for that. You know what that is, right? 501c3?
Yeah.
It's the same shit that the politicians get away with dark money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You don't have to report it.
Right. So I don't know why they did it.
So when they tell you $100 billion, I'd say bullshit. It's a lot more than that.
Okay. That's just what they had.
Anyway.
In their one fund, so.
Their 401k fund.
Yeah, whichever fund it was.
They get in trouble because they didn't roll over in time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So
yeah, how did that make you feel after when you left that office?
I mean, it was basically the beginning of the,
The beginning of the end of your belief?
Yeah, the beginning of the end of my belief, yes.
But I mean, what other factors factored into it? Because I know, like, on at least at like a bird's eye view, like you have this like really strong cohesive family. Mm-hmm. But inside that family,
and we were like 7 generational Mormons too.
I don't know what that has to do with you leaving, but
there's a lot of pressure to live up to your ancestors.
And you have how many brothers and sisters?
I have 2 brothers and 4 sisters.
And you're the only one that's announced that they've left, right?
Yes.
But you have a sister that's kind of borderline, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
And have you talked to her about it?
Yeah.
Does she talk to you about it?
No, she's not really. I mean, she's still like...
I was just say, because then your mom would be like, "Oh, Phil's taking everybody with him. That's it. That's it.
He's a Cancer."
Yeah. Get out my seer stone and show him the truth.
Oh yeah.
How did that go over with your family though? When you told them you're like, "Hey, like this isn't for me anymore. I can't."
They still have hope, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I guess that's just like the Mormon thing, though, is to always have hope, faith for one person to make sure they come back to the light. And
so they think at some point you're going to do like a big ass U-turn and come right back.
Yeah. I'm going to be like Paul the Apostle on the road to Damascus.
Well, I guess like the whole takeaway from it, though, is like, I guess if I was in your family's shoes, would be your faith is still there with God, more or less, but not into the church.
Yeah, I still believe in a higher power.
Okay.
There's a God.
Do you call it a God though? Like, do you like God, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, or the Holy Spirit?
No. It's more like New Age spirituality type of a belief.
So define that, because I don't know what that is.
It's basically that there was ascended masters that came to Earth, and some of those ascended masters were like Buddha and Jesus. They taught us...
Also known as the Children of the Light.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And...
We're just going to have to stop right here, and then Sean.
No, go. I'm done. Go ahead.
They taught us some good truths, but men with their conniving ways to control people basically corrupted, the Bible, and also the Diamond Sutra. That's basically Buddha's biggest work that he put out there.
You looked into the Kama Sutra.
The Kama Sutra?
You know what that is, right?
Yeah, I know what the Kama Sutra is, which is...
the book of sex.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Diamond Sutra.
I don't know what the diamond is. I only know what the Kama Sutra is, and I've only seen pictures. I've never like picked it up and been like, oh shit, I'm gonna try this.
And the also Hindu teachings like the Bhagavad Gita also kind of play a role in New Age spirituality.
You ever seen the Tiger King?
That does sound familiar. Yes, I think so.
So
It's been a while though.
You got to watch the whole. There's 2 different series on Netflix you need to watch. One of them is The Tiger King, and this motherfucker raises tigers in like somewhere in the South, and
Isn't it Florida,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Is it Oklahoma?
I think it's Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's in prison right now trying to run for president of the United States. Crazy as fuck, funny as shit though, like good stuff. And then he's got a rival. I can't remember the dude's name, but he goes by like Bago something. Mm-hmm. And he was doing that Hindu shit and changed his white name to this Hindu name. Mm-hmm. And he was manipulating women. And he was getting them when they were like 13, 14 years old. Sick motherfucker. Like, bad.
Sounds like Joe Smith.
Anyway. But you should watch that though, because I think you're right. I think at our core, people are good. But I think they, with life experiences, they learn certain things. And they learn how to, I wouldn't say corrupt the Bible or take the Bible literal or whatever. I would say more along the lines of you do learn how to manipulate people. Mm-hmm. I know this because I manipulate people. I do it every day. I mean, I get people excited to go move furniture. Like, who the fuck wants to do that? And these guys come in every day with a smile on their face, ready to go.
Yeah. It's all those muscles they're building.
I don't know what it is. I'm not even going to get into it. But, and then you when you get comfortable talking with like the opposite sex, mm-hmm. you do learn there's things you can say, things you can't say, and then when to say those things. And in the end, if you say the right things and you are, they're physically attracted to you, you could normally get what you want out of the situation, whether it's a wife, a relationship, a one-night stand, a fuck buddy. Like you can do all those things though too, So I agree with you though. Where do you stand on all that though? Like where like this new age stuff, do you just think there's like one creator and then his children that came down, or?
I mean, my views are always changing.
Okay.
Because, I don't know, new information, new experience makes...
So what's changed from the time when you started to believe this new age till like now? Like what's one thing you believed and now it's different today?
So for a while there, after I basically left Christianity altogether, because I felt like the Bible really manipulated, it made it sound like Christ was actually like the first cult leader to manipulate his followers to believe certain things. And then as it evolved, I became... I now am Christian. I do believe in Christ and what he taught.
What version of Christ, though? Because you have, like, his teachings, which are pretty universal across Christianity. And then he dies, and then you have the resurrection, and that's kind of where things get blurred.
Yeah, right where it's blurred is right where I'm like, I believe the words that he taught as truth, but when it comes to him actually dying and being resurrected and suffering for our sins, I kind of have let that go.
So what do you mean let it go? Do you still feel like if people sin, they go to hell?
No, I feel like telling somebody that they're a sinner is a type of a manipulation.
Okay. Oh, no, I can see that. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But that person has to also believe in everything you say, right? So you have to be Christ-like, be able to cast that judgment, right?
Yeah. I believe, I guess.
Because if you called me a sinner, I'd laugh at you and probably agree with you.
Yeah. Anyways, unconditional love is basically the key to all this. If God created us, if God's is a perfect being, how could a perfect being create an unperfect thing? And if there's such thing as unconditional love, why are you putting conditions on people, telling them that they're doing bad things, they're sinning, if you're a true, unconditionally loving God?
You also have choice.
Yeah.
And you also have good choices and bad choices. You and I have talked about this, where I've told you, if you make 3 good decisions in your life, it sets you on a different path, right?
Right.
But if you go to the bar and you drove there and you drink and you slap some girl on her ass and then got arrested, or you got busted on a DUI, like that's bad choices, right? That sets your life in a different direction.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, when you were working with us, you made one really bad choice. You decided not to report an accident.
Right.
That caused you to go down a spiral, and I watched it.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I even trained you on how to get out of it.
Yes.
And you didn't listen to me.
Because I was feeling guilty. I just didn't.
Right. You were honest, and you that's all you could have been in that time. I just showed you or presented a way for you to keep your job. And you chose the light. You went the honest direction.
John was trying to manipulate you.
Yes. I was like the snake in the Garden of Eden.
It all worked out. I mean, I got a job that pays more, and I actually like it more because.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like getting bullied every day when you show up to work?
Yeah. Yeah.
What I miss the most is you coming in the office and being like, do I really have to fucking report to Jaden? What did he do this time? He just makes these comments to me. I'm like, you're being tested, right? Well, no. I was like, Jaden with this company has been through a lot. In the 2 years I've been with the company, I've been through a lot. Nowhere near as much as he has. You get tested. Mm-hmm. Like I test his brother-in-law all the time. Call him Mowgli. Tell him to get the fuck out of the break room. Tell him break time's over.
He does look like Mowgli, though.
He does.
He should ride that with pride. But he does it.
Like gay pride or?
Like, I looked like a famous person.
Mowgli.
Famous cartoon character.
Oh my hell. All right, so back to your religion deal. How many ayahuascas have you done?
I think it's like 7 now.
7.
I don't know. Somewhere around there.
And they're all different experiences. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had a bad one?
Yeah.
Well,
it was
explain that.
Couple ago. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really have any just miraculous experience. It was just like I just felt sick the whole time, and I just threw up the whole time.
Do you feel like you astral projected and the children of light are like, fucking you again? What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, maybe they cut me out.
They're like, bro, you're way too much on the ayahuasca.
Yeah, we just gotta...
This is turning into a weekly thing. You need to calm down.
Yeah. It's turning into a dependency.
What other drugs have you taken that have opened up your mind?
Mushrooms.
I know there's different strands. I'm not big in the mushroom game. I just did my first mushroom trip last year, which was fun. I had 2 different experiences. One was bad, one was good. I learned a lot, though.
Yeah. You learn a lot with those things.
But, like, do you have, like, a certain strand you like to take, or?
I really like Golden Teacher.
Golden Teacher?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's a milder one that's a little bit more, softer on the giving you an experience type of thing.
So I don't know what I took. I just remember camping, watching my buddy's 4Runner come off the ground, and the trees breathing, laughing. That was a good time over stupid shit. And then, no, like, feeling I had to go do something important, but I was out in the middle of nowhere. To this day, I don't know what that important thing was, but I had to do it. I didn't do it, but
Oh, we're here. You already did it.
Yeah, maybe my mushroom trip led me to this point. Who knows? The other time I did it, it was a bad idea. Don't ever watch the last 2 Harry Potters on fucking shrooms.
Oh, dude, don't even. My brother. Oh my gosh, I went over to his house one time. He's like, "Yeah, come over, hang out. We're just watching Harry Potter and eating shrooms." Like, what?
Which ones though? That first one?
Oh, they binge watched the whole thing.
Oh man,
every movie they watched all of them, and they had like half ounce of mushrooms, and they're just fucking just gobble them down like it was nothing.
I just remember like I had like a chocolate bar that had the shrooms in it because I'm not gonna eat the shrooms normal. Like I borderline don't like. I like mushrooms cooked.
PBJ sandwich with some mushrooms.
Yeah, I know, but then that's like I enjoy PBJs, and if it tastes different, I fucking ruined it for everyone. Like you can go in my fridge right now, and there's those like crustable ones. Like I got them everywhere. They're fucking phenomenal. I cannot have shrooms ruin that experience. So I did the chocolate bar, and all of a sudden I had this urge or craving for celery, carrots, and ranch.
Oh, just having like a stroke.
So I drive down the street to the Smiths and I get out. I'm fine. But I'm like, I get into the store and it's like a hunt. I'm just like looking everywhere. Like, where's these fucking carrots and celery? Found them. I'm standing in line and I'm watching. So this Smiths has like stencils of like safari. You can see like elephants and palm trees and shit. Mm-hmm. And that shit starts moving. And I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, for sure.
So I buy them. I walk out. I go out to the car. There's trees, throughout the parking lot and the medians. And I'm like looking at the tree and this fucker's breathing. I'm like, oh, cool. Here we go. I'm happy. Hop in the car, go home, looking for something to watch. And I'm just like, cool. Deathly Hallows Part 1. Boom. Started watching it. And I got really into it. Next thing I know, like the faces are starting to kaleidoscope, like Harry Potter's eyes like fucking falling off his face. And I'm like, what is going on?
This isn't Harry Potter. What spell did they use?
This is like Harry Otter. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Wow.
So some of those parts are pretty serious, so I ended up like freaked the fuck out at the corner of my bed. I'm watching this on an iPad, by the way. And I end up like in the corner, like, oh my God, what the hell? And then like something funny happens. And so I started laughing. And then I noticed when I'm laughing, it's like, oh. And then something.
Like an evil laugh or what?
Yeah, because like everything, like time stops.
Slowing down.
Oh, yeah, like time stops, Mm-hmm. So then like something serious happens and I am back in the corner again. And then next thing I know, like I'm on the second one and it's at the end. And like the little frog's on the window and jumps out and like the girl like starts crying like, oh my God, so we all met. And I was like, damn, this is fucking cool. So I get up and I'm like, I'm in no shape to fucking piss standing up. So I sit down. Start pissing. I'm looking at the rug and it's like all of a sudden it hits me. And I just felt like I was going to cure cancer. I was put on this earth to help people. And I remember looking at that rug, literally going, I know you. I know you. I'm on to you. And then I literally got up, went to bed, and woke up the next morning, and I was like, the fuck happened last night? What the fuck happened? I had to like relive this thing, and I was like, why was I all freaked out? And then all of a sudden I remember, oh yeah, you're going to cure cancer today. Hasn't happened. But that was like my experience on that shit. And I would definitely do it again, even with the bad trip. So what's your bad trip? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I pretty much told you. I
threw up a lot.
I didn't have very much visuals. It was just
It was just more of like a physical feeling, not an outer body experience.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you're going through the tunnel in Willy Wonka?
I mean, I did see some visuals, and they were like going really, really fast, and I was just
They're just whipping by you.
Whipping by me, and I was just
what the hell?
I think I'm done.
Done with what?
So like
Done with the trip.
So beyond past that, like I mean, the visuals going by you and stuff like that. Have you had an actual experience where it's like, okay, whoa, this is fucking scary? What like Sean was saying, like he's watching Harry Potter, this shit's melting off fucking Harry Potter's face. Like, did you ever have an experience where you're just like, okay, I need to come down really fast because this is just too much for me?
Yeah, that time when all the visuals were going back so fast, and I was just really, really sick, and I was throwing up, and I was just like, I'm done with this trip. I just want it to be over. And then I got in like the fetal position and just started rocking back and forth, and I was just like,
okay, that sounds like a bad trip.
Please just be over.
Make it stop.
Yeah, make it stop. And then finally it ended, and I was just like, thank goodness. And it was like almost a year after that I tried psychedelics again. It was
that hardcore? Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, that happens a lot of times where you do a drug like that and then you have to stop for a minute. Or not a drug, but an herb. In your case?
Yeah, plant medicine.
Well, it's like, you remember when spice was a big thing and everyone was smoking spice? Like, I was really young when I was smoking spice. Like, really, like, high school, like, not even high school, middle school.
That shit fuck you up, though. I've never done that.
Oh, yeah. No, you just hit it once. You were pretty high.
Yeah?
And I remember that's what turned me off to weed. It's because I was smoking spice with these dudes. And it's like, I was probably like 15 at the time. But this dude was beating the shit out of me because he was having a really bad trip. He thought I said something to him.
Damn.
And he fucking just started whooping my ass. And I'm like 15 and this dude's like 30 something.
Damn.
And my cousin's all like, yo, get off of him. His cousin's like, yo, get off of him. And he's just like beating the shit out of me in this bathroom. And then after that, they just like got me down this really bad trip. They're like, dude, he's dying. He's dying. And I'm like, oh my God, I am dying. Oh my gosh. And then like that whole time, I just thought I was dying. But then after that,
Nothing.
I never smoked weed again.
No?
Never smoked weed, never did anything like that because I was just like, yeah, I didn't like that feeling how I felt that time. I was like, I'm done.
So I've never been a weed smoker. And I mean, I don't care for it one way or another. I've had some really bad trips on edibles though. Like bad. Like lost track of time driving, like time warp type shit.
Well, that's me when I'm tired.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it freaked me out because I'm all fucked up on a sativa edible. And I was driving from Daybreak to downtown when I was living there. And I remember going down like 114th. I remember leaving. I don't remember going down 114th. I remember getting on the freeway. And then I remember like, God, this is taking so fucking long. Like, why is this taking so long? Like, I was getting like angry that this drive was taking forever. It's a fucking drive anyway.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was so much longer. And then next thing I know, I'm like pulling into my apartment complex. And I was like, damn, that was quick. But there's like gaps in time in that drive I don't remember at all. So I was like, wow. So weed, you're a weed guy, right?
Occasionally.
You like
I'm not really big on weed.
Not anymore?
Really.
No?
I never really was.
What do you mean? You used to go...
Dude, Delvis smoked you out, bro.
He smoked me out once.
Yeah, but you were...
And then I was like, never again.
I know. I was like, where's Phil? I need trailers moved. And Delvis is like...
He's not coming back.
You won't see him till tomorrow. And I was just like, what did you do, Delvis? And he's just like, I didn't do anything. I said, what did you do?
I thought no, that's not. I remember you sent me up to. So he smoked me out, and the next thing I know, I'm driving up to Park City high as a kite. That's what I remember.
You're the psychedelic, man. You probably couldn't even keep track of that shit.
It's like...
Damn, Fantasyland.
It was not fantasy. It was very stressful. Driving a semi up to Park City.
Could you imagine that? And you just how bad it would have been for the company if he just got pulled. Yeah, this dude is ripped.
It was funny though. Well, it was funny on my end, not on his end. But when like the day they found out he got in a wreck and didn't report it, they thought it was Drew.
Really?
Yeah, and the only way they caught it somehow was his arm was like sticking out the window, his arm, and somehow they matched up the red hair to the arm, and then they went on to Fleetio to look at where the tractor position was at, and they're like, "Oh, that's 444."
Oh,
And that was Phil's truck.
that's his baby right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I called him and I was like, "Hey, did you get in an accident, not report it?" And he's like, "How did you know that?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck, here we go."
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
This is it.
And then
That's the beginning to his end.
And I was in
or the
big
start
trouble.
of the new journey, right?
Yeah, you can look at it either way.
All right, so back to your religion deal. What's your thoughts and feelings on the Mormon Church now?
My thoughts and feelings is that Joseph Smith was a fraud.
Okay.
He wanted to manipulate people into giving him money. And so that's what started him down his little path of treasure digging and making up the story about the golden plates.
You know, every time I hear the Mormon story, I always think of that South Park. Dum, 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 dum. Every time he talks about it, dum, 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 dum.
You know, we need to get that sound right there.
Oh, I know.
For just Phil when he's on.
Just put it in, like, find it online and put it into the recording.
I can.
That would be fun.
Like, it just, like, every time he says Joseph Smith, just pause it. Dum, 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 dum.
Oh, no, I wouldn't even pause it. Right when he says Joseph Smith, it would just be real subtle, really quiet right in the background. You just have to be like, what the fuck is he playing in the background?
Oh, man. You want to talk about your parents and their manipulation of you?
I mean, I think everybody had parents that pretty much
but more or less
manipulate him.
yours were pretty. I have a lot of friends that are Mormon, and their parents would manipulate them to an extent, but just the short hearings of what we've heard is just like, whoa, Phil. Okay, your mom was pretty serious about this. Not you dating any girls besides her, and
Not you jacking off your wiener when the time came.
Yeah, well, that's some rough stuff.
So how do you feel, though, like with the relationship with your parents hinder you in your adult life?
Oh, I guess for the most part, it would be the fact that all the, I don't know, it was just emotionally difficult with, and it really derives a lot from the church too, because, your whole paradigm of your whole existence of why you are even a tadpole in the pool of the world is because of the church. And I mean, I don't know. My mom really body shamed me a lot and sexually shamed me a lot. And when I was 5 years old and I'm going off to kindergarten for the first time, my mom's like, Philip, I really hope kids like you in kindergarten because you're so short. And, that followed me clear through high school, not wondering, hey, are kids going to like me because I'm short?
So you still feel you have do you still feel you have something to prove today to people?
But did that follow you, though, through your whole high school thing, too? Or through the whole time you were in school? Or is it just like every year in the beginning of the year, your mom was like, oh, I hope you make new friends because you're short?
No, it didn't.
Like, well, I mean, like not more or less to take a jab at you, but more or less like, did that just every time you started school, you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Every time I started school,
And did she give you reminders like every year, like, hey, you're short?
Yeah, I mean,
Did she ever say like you need to come home before 5 o'clock because you're short? Sun goes down, people won't be able to see you.
no. She did say you need to come home a certain time because of, you need to remember who you are, that you're a chosen Mormon boy and you're a Peter priesthood and you need to show your Peter priesthoodness.
I think you're a Peter Puffer.
Maybe a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, honestly, do you still feel you're not good enough today? Or have you just finally threw the middle finger up and said, fuck you guys, I'm going to do what I want to do?
No, I still have, I guess I still feel like I have something to prove.
Well, but to who, though? Like, we're going to get deep into this because the same feelings you felt, I felt when I was in my marriage. Like, nothing was ever good enough.
Oh, okay.
And then I wanted it done. I ended it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went long periods of time feeling that same way. Until one day I woke up and I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to do what I want, when I want, whenever I want. And everyone's going to have a comment on this, and that's fine. I don't give a shit about your comment. You can tell me, like, hey, I don't like you doing this, and I would say, cool. I'll be respectful to you. But I'm not going to do the things that are expected of me. I'm going to do the things that I expect myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you don't have to be as blunt about it like I am. But it, like, for me, it's to the point where if, like, someone tells me to do something, I'm going to do the opposite just to fuck with them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if I had to give you any advice in life in general, I would say get to a point where other people's opinions aren't affecting what you do on a day-to-day basis. And it, like, you probably feel the same way, right? Like, Jaden's going to do what he wants. There's times when I'm like, Jaden, we're going to record on Sunday, like 8 o'clock. He's like, okay, cool. Then he'll text me, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, which is totally fine. I don't look at him differently. He just wanted to do something else, or he physically couldn't get up and come here, you know? Mm-hmm. I would advise you get to that point where you stop caring what other people think, because you're not, aside from the religion deal, I don't think you're put on this earth to be a monkey for someone else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they can have an opinion of you. Everyone has an opinion of someone, but it's how you take that opinion, either with a grain of salt or you let it hit you right in the heart and it affects you.
Mm-hmm. And it's really hard because I'm a very sensitive person.
Yep.
And with that, I can kind of see nonverbal cues, and I just want to be liked. And I think it just comes down from the social conditioning that my mother gave me, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if kids are going to like you because you're so short. And I'm just like, okay, what are you trying to tell me here? And it kind of started the whole thing where I need validation from people. And I think if I can get past needing validation from people, I can get to that point. But as of right now...
So how do you as a person get to that point?
How do I get to the point of not needing...
Like, what steps do you think you need to go through?
Definitely I need to be able to be confident in who I am. And...
Do you feel you're more confident today than you were when you decided to withdraw from the church?
In different ways.
Okay.
Because a lot of my confidence when I was in the church came from the belief that, because they're in the church, there's a big saying. They're like, I know this, I know that, I know this and that. And it comes basically from, because I have this feeling inside.
Yeah,
and
it's a faith thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a faith thing. And so I guess I've lost some of my faith in my confidence because of leaving the church.
So what would make you feel like you're a confident person today? Like what in your life would you change where you're like, I'm good. This is what I would need to feel confident.
I think he just needs to figure that out for himself. I don't think he has it yet. Me personally, I don't think you have it yet because you had the church behind you giving you that confidence of who you wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And now that you left, you're rediscovering yourself again. And now you're just trying to figure out who you're trying to become and your confidence again to where it's going to build you up. Like you're trying to find what's going to give you that confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
And you haven't found it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the job, it's not the car, it's not the tangible things, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess you could say self-love.
Okay.
That I can love myself no matter if I'm validated or not.
So if you got to a point where you were confident in yourself, where you don't feel you need to be validated anymore, and you look back on like the church stuff, could you go back into a scenario and still feel confident? Like, could you go back? Like, let's say one of your kids or one of your brothers or sisters has a kid. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to make the drive. I'm going to go up to Burley. I'm going to go to the Blessing. Mm-hmm. And you get all dressed up like they do. Mm-hmm. And you go in there. Like, do you see a day you could do that? Yeah,
I can do that.
But not right now. Like, because right now you like you said, you've lacked the confidence, right? So you would probably walk into that situation and people would look at you and you would start to think like, what the fuck are they thinking, right? Instead of
not necessarily.
I don't think so. Because I think he would walk in there because he's left the religion and he's like not more towards Mormonism anymore. So I feel like he could just walk in there and be like, you know what? It's whatever. I know this is shambles, but it's just I'm here to support
my family.
I'm not here to find the validation of people that I left for a reason.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you feel like you would need to be in a healthy relationship with someone to feel confident?
I mean, I think that would help because, I don't know, it still comes around the whole validation thing because, I'd really like to find someone that's just drop dead gorgeous, just, every guy's like, dude, how did that guy get that girl?
You see, that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though.
That's what other people's opinion, though.
Yeah,
and that's validation. That's why I want
it. I don't think you should really focus yourself around validation. I think you need personally to find somebody that makes you feel like, okay, I'm good. I'm complete. I don't need other people to know that, wow, I'm with this person and they think she's hot.
Yeah,
I think she's mega hot. And now I got the validation of other people. It only takes you so far until the point you're like, okay, well, I just wasted all this time just trying to get other people's validation for what? It's nothing, right? For me personally, I'm more about connection and like, okay, wow, I get a really good connection from this person. I don't really give a fuck about what anybody else thinks because it's not important to me. What's important to me is how I'm connecting with somebody else.
So, like, for me personally, this is what I just discovered. I have this incredible ability to attract younger women, 24 to 27. But when I talk to these women, like, they tell me what they do, and I'm like, okay, I don't feel like like when you're super young and like, people have jobs and whatever. Like, I want someone who has, like, a career who's interesting, You don't really find that between 24 and 27. So my other problem is when I start dating women in the 30s, then they already have, like, 3 or 4 kids. And I love kids, but they're done with that portion of their life. So then the other thing that I recently discovered was, do you know what a sapiosexual is? So that's someone who gets really turned on by another person's intelligence. So when I like actually have conversations with women, if they can pique my interest and I can have like deep conversations, I then become more attracted to that person than I would like anyone else. But not everyone is comfortable like having like deep conversations with another person right off the get-go. So it's kind of hard. You have to test the waters a lot. So at any given, in my past, and I shouldn't say any given time, but there are times when I could have easily jumped into a relationship with many different girls. And I didn't do it because there was always something missing, which was not saying that the girls I was dating were dumb. They weren't. They were all special in their own way. But there was nothing that like I could research something online and then turn around and have like a full on fucking conversation with that person about it. And like get intelligent response and like, you know, start to question different things in life, kind of like what you're going through now, you know. So my advice to you is just hang in there. There's nothing you can do until the day comes where you're just like sick and tired of other people's opinions and you're just not going to live, you're the way you want to live until you get rid of that thing. Mm-hmm. That's why you have people that like go off and start their own businesses. And they tell you all the time, like, you know, small business, it fails like within the first year or two. But you see like successful people have small businesses and you're like, wow, well, they had something to sell and they're good at it and they believe in it like a religion. But they were like confident in it and they didn't care what other people thought. Like they would take advice. Like I take advice from people all the time. It doesn't mean I'm going to do that advice, you know. Mm-hmm. Like my father, he's awesome when it comes to like the stock market. He's like, invest your money in this, and this. I still don't listen to him.
You should.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I should. I just don't. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm a big person of like my idea. It has to be my idea. Mm-hmm. If it's someone else's idea, even if it's a really good idea, I'll still go along with their idea, but I'll pick it apart. And he's seen it firsthand ever since you know who took over. Mm-hmm. And him, you know, we would have these epic battles where I either flat out disagreed or I would agree with it, but I would say, well, you know, here's this, and this, and it would frustrate the hell out of that person to the point where we had to learn to coexist in that office. And now we're good. But, you know, it's like two alpha males coming together who have different ideas and, you know, we make it work. But if he gives me an opinion that I don't care for, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would like being your friend. I would want you to get to that point in life where you're not putting so much stock into what other people think. Because the validation to me is it's not what other people think. The validation is what you think, what you feel. Mm-hmm. That's really at the core of everything is you just need your own validation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I have friends who have the cars and the money and the houses and the families and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm very happy for them. But if you sit and talk to these people, they want that validation. And it's a fault. To me, it's a false feeling. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong? I mean,
no, you're not.
Difference of opinion, but
I remember when sure, everybody has their validations to the point where they want to be validated by everybody, but then it gets to a point where it's like why? Like for at least why, me, like I've gotten to that point, and I mean, you guys like you're saying people, younger people, 24 to 27. I'm 25, but I'm already to that point where I've already had enough. Like, I'm done trying to get validation from people. I don't give a shit no more because what's other people's validation going to do for myself? Nothing. The only thing it can do is possibly build my self-esteem to a point, but it's not going to make me feel better about the things I want to do in my life. the only things that can do that for me is myself. And if there's other people in my life that can do that for me, then great, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like to get to that point. I don't know what it's going to take. I really don't.
Have you thought about seeing a counselor, like a full psychiatrist, not at a university?
Yeah, I have.
Honestly, I think you should reach out to the Donnie lady.
Let's say, yeah, she said, she's going to take
Yeah, I wanted to. You said you were going to talk to her, and then you were going to give me her info. You never did that. So.
Yeah, that's my bad. Full responsibility on that one. I'll share that info with you. I mean, we could share it now. It's just DonnieAngel.com, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, DonnieAngel.com.
If you go to that episode and look in the description of it, I listed everything. Yeah. There's her Instagram, Facebook, her website, and her website has her links to all her socials and ways to get in contact with her.
Oh, okay.
I think
maybe a big one plus would be like, hey, I'm friends with Sean,
I know. I think she's expecting you, though.
And then you actually talked about being on her episode, so...
Yeah, so I need to reach back out because she brought up, like I said in the episode, I thought before I talked to her, like I made all this progress. Like the last time I talked to her was like years ago. And I'm like a totally different person now. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm talk to Donnie. This is going to be interesting. And I started talking to her, and then it quickly made me realize, like, I don't have my shit together as much as I think I do. I need to go fucking talk to Donnie again, type shit. So you should. And I think I've told you, or no, I've told you, I don't think I may have mentioned this, but she was very instrumental in me becoming who I am as the person I am today. Mm-hmm. And everything is like tailor fit to the person, but she helped me through like a really, really hard time and got me to a point where I could start building my own confidence as a person. Now my confidence is sky high. Like there's not much that knocks me off my pedestal where I start doubting or where I start looking for validation from other people. Like it's just, I don't put stock in that shit anymore, Mm-hmm. Now, like if I was in a really healthy relationship, like of course I would want that person's validation. That's a different deal. But I don't know how much I'm just saying this to be honest, because I haven't been put in that position yet, but I don't know how much stock I would put in their validation either. Mm-hmm. But I'm also a hard-headed motherfucker, so.
I think the thing you should be asking yourself too is like, what is the validation of this person going to get for you? What is it going to do for you as a person? Like really, and think about it hard because, I mean, if you want the validation from a lot of people, you're going to find that what does it do for you? Is it going to build your confidence? Then if it is, then okay, maybe you do need the validation. Is it going to make you have a bigger ego? I mean...
Yeah, it's going to do both, but do I really want those things?
Do you want an ego? Egos can be good.
Well, everybody has an ego.
Oh, 100%.
To a certain extent.
And well, that's the thing, though. A lot of people have egos and the things they're confident about. Like, if you're confident in something, you can have a big ego about it. Mm-hmm. So, it's just, again, like...
Like, I've watched Jaden destroy people online playing games, and he'll sit there and talk shit. That's an ego. That's a fun ego.
Nice.
But it's an ego.
I'll talk shit even if I'm losing.
You stream live or what?
Yeah, every day of my life.
Sweet. You'll have to give me your handles.
It's easy.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Sprite. That's it.
Oh, Sprite?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Just like the drink.
Yeah, you're going against, what's that? There's this really hot chick that has Sprite in her handle.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm interested.
I'll have to show you. Yeah, I'll show you.
The only hot girl I know.
I follow her on Facebook.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The only hot girl I know on Twitch is this Australian girl. Her name's Michaela. Oh, my God. Girl's phenomenal. And she just does live streams. She just gets on and starts talking.
She does hot tub streams?
No. She's at her computer and...
She doesn't take off some of her clothes.
She has an OnlyFans. I don't.
Oh, she does have an OnlyFans?
Yeah, I don't dive into the OnlyFans thing personally. I just feel like I'm not going to pay to get what I want out of it. So it's like prostitution. I don't pay to play. I don't do that shit.
Yeah.
It's easy enough to get it, but
Well, you can just find it anywhere. People leak shit all the time, so it's like,
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, not a knock to anyone, but like people go and pay for like massages with happy endings, or they pay like escorts and stuff. I'm gonna teach their own. I just don't pay to play. I won't do that. You pay to play?
A little.
What do you pay to play?
What do I pay to play?
Yeah. You on the happy ending game?
No, I haven't paid for one of those, but
I know I have a buddy who does, and if you're interested, I'll get you the info.
will you?
Some little Asian lady who come jerk you off at the end of your massage.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know. Yeah.
No.
I want real love.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, then you need to stop texting me and be like, hey, bro, let's go chase some pussy.
But how am I going to be able to...
you know what, Phil?
How am I going to present myself to a lady that I'm interested in?
But this is what I keep telling you. Like, you have this ability that most guys don't have. And it actually stems from your time in the church when you were a missionary. You would go door to door. You would talk to strangers all the time. I've seen that you in action. You have no problem talking to the opposite sex. It's when you get to that point, you don't know what to say.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I can only tell you the shit that I do, and you've seen what I do live.
Yeah, and I need practice to be able to do that myself.
But that's how I do things. Jaden's going to do things totally different. Like when you got your girlfriend, I mean, you were partying a lot, right? She came over a couple times, and then what happened after that? Like you had conversations.
They did it.
No, just had a vibe with her. Actually, no, you'd be surprised. No.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just had a vibe with her, and, I was just like, it just got to the point where it was like, okay, what are we both doing? Mm-hmm. And I messaged her like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? Like, is this just, we're just going to party and be like, haha, flirty to each other? But like, what are we doing? Do you want to pursue this or not? And then, it turns in now I have a kid.
Oh. So,
yeah, I mean,
he
put the ball in her court and she responded.
The biggest thing though is like, honestly, Phil, I was in a 5-year relationship before that. And I got out and I was like, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, man, I really want to find somebody. I want to be with somebody. Like, I need to find somebody,
Mm-hmm.
Until I started telling myself like, you know what?
You don't need that.
Stop trying to force yourself to find somebody. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and you're gonna find somebody. And you know what? As soon as I stopped doing that, look, I found somebody. It's like, it's just the stars align, I guess, if you want to say something like that. But when you're looking for something, you're not gonna find it. Like if you're constantly trying to find something, you're not gonna find it. And then take that for example. I kept telling myself, man, I need to find somebody. I need to find somebody. I want somebody. And then for me to finally be like, okay, I'm done. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And it'll happen at its own time.
Target. I'm telling you. Hottest girls I've ever seen.
So you're telling me I should just
go with the flow, man. Be yourself. I mean, like, it's not wrong for you to go and be like, oh, yeah, I want to pursue women and be like, hey, haha, flirt with them or whatever. But don't actively try to be like, I want you to be my girlfriend and I want you to fall in love with me and let's do this. Let's be in a relationship.
I'm going to lock you in a dungeon. You're all mine. You don't want to do that.
I'm not trying to do that.
No, but
I mean, I'm really, I'm mostly like introverted, so I'll just sit in my apartment by myself all freaking day.
That's fine.
How am I going to find a girl doing that?
See, that's the thing, though, is that you're actively trying to find a girl. Like, dude, just do yourself. It's going to come along.
So here's the best way I can explain this. There are things in life you have to get off your ass and go get. Jobs, money, hobbies, things that keep your mind busy. During these activities, if your mindset isn't on whatever it is that you're doing, and it's more on looking around like, oh man, there's all these hot girls here. This is a target-rich environment. I'm just going to go do my thing. You're going to set yourself up to fail 99.9% of the times because the chances of you And this goes for me, this goes for Jaden, this goes for any guy. If you walk into any situation you're in with that mindset, you will not find what you're looking for. And like, you can go to the bars and you can do that shit. There's a lot of trash at the bars. I know this. I used to be the trash guy. I would take that trash out.
Take the trash out.
I don't do that anymore. But that's why, like, I don't actively try to date either. It's because I'm focused on the things that are important to me. My job, this podcast, you know, my friends, you know, things that excite me. That's what I want to do. Now, when I'm doing these things, and if the opportunity comes along, like Jaden was talking about, where the stars align and you get a good vibe from someone, then you go for the kill on that. But if you are constantly walking up to women all the time, saying the most random shit, like shit that I say to people, you are going to fail 100% of the time. Like, I always bring this up when the story when I talk to people about you and when it comes to like relationships. But you remember the time I told you, I'm going to show you how it's done. Mm-hmm. And I did it.
Yeah. That was one of the.
And that girl was hot as balls, right?
Yeah, she was like, whoa, yeah.
And then what happened? We left.
We left, which we shouldn't have left.
And then we came back.
And she was on to the next dude, the next piece of meat that she could get.
Did that affect my night with you guys at all?
No. It would have torn me apart, though.
Because my prime objective was hanging out with my friends.
Right.
That was it. That's all I wanted to accomplish.
Right.
I only did what I did was to show you how easy it is to get to that point with a girl. Mm-hmm. I'd never met that girl before. I just started asking questions. I let her talk. And then I expanded on those deals. And then she kept going back and forth. And then when it was all said and done, what did she say? I'm about to get off. I would like to have a beer with you. Wasn't with you guys. It was with me. Right? Mm-hmm. And I said, you know, if we're still here when you're off, then I'll have a beer with you. And that it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, because you rejected her.
I didn't reject her. I actually gave her my number. And she never texted or called. Oh,
really? Oh, okay.
Because remember, we told her what bar we were going to. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, yeah, I know that bar. I go there all the time. I was like, cool, well, that's where we're going. You know, you should come meet us. She never texted. She never called. She never showed up. And then we dropped Cisco off. And then we went back to the bar. And she was at the bar with another guy having a drink. Right? Mm-hmm. Didn't affect me one way or another. That's confidence. Mm-hmm. That's being in a situation where women weren't the prime objective.
Not needing validation.
And not needing validation. I just showed you in the flesh how this shit was done. Mm-hmm. You know? And it could have gone sideways. I could have been so cocky and would have been like, hey, I'm going to show you how it's done, and then fall on my fucking face. And then you would start doubting everything I've ever told you. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
And it didn't happen that way.
Nope. And that's the way I thought it was going to happen. I was like baking on it.
So was Cisco. Cisco sat there. He's like, how the fuck did you do that? I was like, I just talked to her. I'm not scared to talk to people. But I'm also introvert like you are too. Mm-hmm. Like I get up really early. I go to work. I leave work. I come home. I go in my room, I relax, put on a movie, or I sit at the computer and I look at things and I come up with like show ideas for him and I, you know, and it just goes from there and it's rinse and repeat all the damn time. But I know at some point I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to run into someone. That vibe is going to be real and I'll take my shot. But I'm not out actively looking.
I think that's what you should do, Phil, is just wait. Don't go out actively looking. Just wait for opportunities. Like, you know, your friends want to go out with you to the bar or whatever. Don't go actively looking at the bar.
Just go have fun with your friends.
Go enjoy your friends, dude. And then, you know what? Something's going to come up and you're going to be like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And then, you know, because, like, I'm the same thing. I'm an introvert. But, like, before I had my kids, dude, I'd go home. I'd go to work. Wake up early, go to work at 6, get off at 8, go home, play video games until 1 in the morning, rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Rinse and repeat. Until my friends are like, hey, we're going to go to the bar. Okay, cool, let's go to the bar. Go hang out at the bar, have a good time with friends, talk to people. And then the next thing you know, next week, same thing. Rinse, repeat. Go home, go work, go home, either sleep, wake up, go to work, go home, play video games, go to work. Until my friends are like, hey, we're throwing a party. Okay, cool. Let me go get this stuff. I'll grill or whatever. And, start meeting different people.
Okay.
Does Jordan still live with you?
No, he moved out.
Did he? Mm-hmm. Is he still getting married?
Yeah, as far as I know.
You didn't drop the bomb on him?
Nope.
My man.
And
that's good.
I don't know. Yeah, I did drop the bomb on him. It's fine. It'll... What can I do?
Nothing. You just know he's a shitty fucking person for what he did.
Well, I have no proof, really.
Come on. You knew who you were dating. Come on now.
yeah, I knew
Come on.
who I was dating. But maybe Jordan...
Happened for a reason.
Maybe Jordan was strong.
No. That dude was giving money to OnlyFans girls. There's no strength there. He would subscribe to someone's channel, like their pictures. That person would reach out, be like, hey, I'll send you more. Or, hey, I'm having a hard time. Can you send me a couple $100? And he would do it. That motherfucker ain't strong.
Okay.
Some girl rubs her pussy on his fucking leg. He's going to go for it.
Okay.
Now, I'm just saying. Now, if it was me and that shit happened, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Like, hell no. That girl's not even my type. But I wouldn't even allow it to get there.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been in a position where I've taken girls from people and felt like all macho. And then I've watched it happen in front of my eyes when someone came along and took a girl. So I know that the other end of it, I don't subscribe to that shit. That's not I don't do that anymore. That's not my thing.
Yeah. I do have a question. Because I was talking to some friends and they're like, they acted like I had a responsibility to tell Sydney about what happened. Do you feel the same way?
No, because...
Okay.
By the way, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Oh, his girlfriend who used him to live at his place for free, and he drained all of his savings trying to make this girl happy. Well, he had a roommate named Jordan who lived there, and Jordan was engaged to a girl. Well, one day, Jordan was off, and his girlfriend was there, and Jordan was laying in bed, and she comes crawling into his bed, and then she put like her fucking pussy on his leg or something.
Start grinding his.
Yeah, and he's like, I backed out of it, and I'm like, no, he did not. The dude was paying OnlyFans when and I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's like if you're so desperate to where you're paying some stranger money over the internet off a fake ass I'm struggling story.
So his girlfriend
was grinding on his roommate.
And did you confront your girlfriend at the time?
She told you, didn't she?
No,
Jordan told you.
No, I did not know about this until after she moved out. I could sense there was something going on between them. And I actually felt like I should try to catch them in the act during the whole thing that was going on.
So pretty much every time that he was off and she was off, they were probably fucking. And he's paying all the bills. And then Jordan's fiance, who was staying over there as well, has no idea about this whatsoever.
And I haven't talked to her about it. I felt like we should talk about it when it was going on. Like, I wanted to say, so do you think Jordan and my girlfriend are doing stuff together when they're home alone for because they'd be home alone every what days? Every Wednesday and Friday. They were at my apartment all day together alone.
So he's working.
She's
fiance
working.
I mean, law of averages. Honestly, what do you think?
He denied it. I mean, Jordan denied it, so I want to try to believe him.
So now he's saying another group of friends are telling him that he needs to go to the fiance and tell her. And I said, don't do that because karma's a bitch and it comes back to bite you.
I mean,
he's already a piece of shit.
But they think that that it's affecting my karma because I'm not being upfront and honest with someone that's kind of in the, collateral damage, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. To me, is if you're gonna come out with something, you better have the shit to back it up. Because if you don't, it's all, to me, it's all hearsay. It's just like,
right.
You can go to this person, and even whatever your other friends say, sure, they might be right. Person might be in collateral damage, but as soon as you bring it out, and then it's like you're just disturbing a whole life that you don't have proof of to wholeheartedly and go and say, hey, look.
Right. And I do have proof because Jordan actually admitted to me that they were in his bed cuddling, and she started rubbing her pussy against his leg, and her pussy was so wet it soaked through his pants.
And did you go and
he
smell
said
the
that
pants? And
no. And then later he tells me, oh yeah, by the way, she was in the living room masturbating naked while you were gone to work. Anyways.
And he's like, he didn't offer a hand.
So you're telling me that this dude here, I don't know. That is just...
I agree with you. So I told him not to say anything because, number one, you have an admission and then a denial by the girlfriend, right?
Right.
But you don't have, you never physically put your eyes on the situation. You know it happened. You just can't validate it, right?
Right.
So you don't ruin the life of someone who you consider a friend, as in the fiance, right?
Or am I ruining her life because I'm letting her think that he is being, faithful to her?
So that's a different philosophy too. So this is what I personally subscribe to. I call it death by 1,000 cuts. Where if you do me wrong, I will cut you out of my life. They're affected by it. I'm not. I get over being fucked over, and then I let that person go. I don't ever think about that person. Now, the universe will sometimes bring that person back to my life, but now I have guarded feelings, and I'm not super deep into that relationship anymore. Mm-hmm. But you also know, too, that Jordan's probably going to fuck this up anyway, right?
Most likely.
Okay. Let him make that fuck up. Don't be the person that fucks it up.
Okay.
And next time, you should just probably bring it up firsthand. I mean, if that were me and I was in your situation and Jordan came to me and told me this about my girlfriend doing this or whatever at my place while I'm away, I'd be like, okay, first of all, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why the fuck aren't you telling her shit? Secondly, I'd go to her and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You don't be doing this shit at my place while I have a roommate living here. And then third of all, I'd have been going to his fucking girlfriend and be like, your fucking man's fucking weird. Why is he over here telling me all this shit, being a weirdo, and he's not brought any of this up to you, and we're all living together? This is kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, and none of this came up until after she moved out. So
the girlfriend, right?
Yeah, the girlfriend.
Yeah. So they hid it forever.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, that guy's gonna fuck up everything himself. Sean said it's like
that in itself, though, would fuck your confidence up if you didn't know how to.
It totally fucked up. And I don't know, my confidence got really fucked up between Jordan and Allison and Jordan and Bonnie and everything that went on.
What about Clyde?
Clyde, he's done. He
died.
Yeah,
he actually boosted his confidence.
Yeah. He got mowed down with a machine. Mowed down with a machine gun.
Put that gun to your head and So where do you see yourself going from here? We'll wrap this up.
Yeah, well, of course, I want to detach myself from validation, get that kind of confidence in myself that is unstoppable, not caring what other people think, and
you feel like
my life.
But you feel like your core, you're a good person. I know you're a good person.
Yeah, to the core, I'm definitely a good person.
Okay, that's a good start. Knowing that you are a good person.
Yeah.
Like if you're a piece of shit, it's hard to have confidence when you're a piece of shit. You may have false confidence, but you don't have like true confidence. And I feel like you are a good person. You that's a good building block. What I really want you to do is reach out to Donnie.
I will.
And don't let people get to you.
Yeah, don't.
I know it's really hard for me though.
You got to have thick skin.
You know what? There's a point in my life where people were telling me I was a piece of shit because I was blatant and to the point. Because I can't stand. Like, literally, I can't stand when somebody's just fucking... Like, I just have to be direct. Like, to me, at least. And I like that, too, when people are direct with me. But a lot of people aren't used to that type of feedback and people just being straight up blatant and telling them how it is. So people would tell me I'm a piece of shit. And I'd start thinking, like, wow, maybe I am a piece of shit. But no, I'm not a piece of shit. I just tell it how it is. And if you don't like it, it kind of sucks. But... that's just the type of person I am.
Yeah, like for an example, when John was working at where we work,
John,
he took me and were you part of that? I think he separated it.
I'm so glad John's gone.
It was me and Heather. He took out to lunch. He's like, "Where do you guys want to go?" I said, "Don't care."
Oh, he took you out. He paid and everything.
I took you to Hoagie's.
Took us to Hoagie's, which is like the cheapest fucking breakfast place.
It's good. But
It's cheap.
In all of Salt Lake Valley.
And then he's like, well, I got to do it for the warehouse now. So we talked to the warehouse, and they're like, well, we want wings. So I think mine and Heather's lunch was like $20. This motherfucker and his team roll up like 150, 160 on Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, Buffalo Wild Wings?
He didn't give one squirt of piss on that whole deal. That's how gangster Jaden is. He didn't care.
And he goes, you guys better eat every single thing that they order because I just spent $150. Like, they're going to eat whatever they're going to fucking eat. I'll eat whatever they don't eat. I'm hungry.
I'm not like Jaden has his own style. I have my own. You will come into your own. I feel like your life has been like, in a sense, been rescinded of experiences that you still need to experience in order to, in a sense, enlighten yourself to be a more confident person.
And make sure you're taking away from what I'm telling you and what Sean's telling you and whoever else tells you stuff. If you feel like it brings value to your life, take it and use it as your own. Don't take it at face value and use it how I'm using it. You know what I mean? Just
you have to find your way.
Because like as soon as you start, like to me, when I hear about all these stories about you and Sean going out and how you want to learn from Sean, you're trying to take what Sean's doing and replicating it for yourself and trying to make it exactly what Sean's doing, how you want to do it. But you need to make it your own and really like. When you go try to pick up women, you need to make it your own. You can't go buy a playbook and be like, okay, I'm going to try this, and then I got to hit this point, and it's going to work.
It's like life. There's no manual for it. It's all about the experience. And don't get caught up with because this thing you have where you're like, I need someone to emotionally and physically validate me. You don't need that. You just need to find confidence in yourself. And I've been through this with you a million times,
Yeah, I know.
When you got your CDL, or even telling you, small packages come with the big boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dynamite comes in small packages.
That's right. It's a different way of looking at things. I mean, I'm 37. I'll be 38 next month. I'm by definition overweight, and I got hair all over this body, and I don't let any of this shit stop me ever.
Yep. I'm 25. I'm going to be 26 this month.
He's got two kids.
I have two
kids.
Happy
birthday.
And yeah,
he doesn't let that shit stop him either. So just don't let people get in your way. Experience life. Don't take things literal. and then just find the silver lining in everything. There's always a silver lining. Everything.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. You want to wrap it up?
Yep. That's it.
You got anything else you want to add?
No, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening to my interesting story.
So we didn't go way into detail like we did last time, and that's fine. I think people know enough about you now and the journey you're on, which is what I wanted to accomplish with this. What I want you to do, though, is reach out to Donnie, start getting that thing going.
Okay, I will.
And then
next week.
When you get a couple, like 3 or 4 sessions under your belt, I'll reach back out to you and reach out to Donnie and see if we can do like a collaboration and kind of go over everything.
Okay.
But that's gonna require putting a lot of your emotions and shit on air, or in a podcast where people can listen. So it's a very vulnerable type situation.
Yeah.
So only if you want to do it, I'll do it.
I'm open to being vulnerable.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're on YouTube now. We got video.
Hi,
And it's
YouTube.
TikTok. So make sure
TikTok.
to look out for the shorts. And not only TikTok shorts, YouTube shorts, Instagram reels. It's all happening.
And just a big shout out to all the people who listen weekly like you do. And anyone who wants to come on, has something interesting, or just wants to shoot the shit, reach out to me, reach out to Jaden. All ears. Maybe one day we'll get Jordan and the fiance in here and we'll drop the bomb live. Who knows?
And it'll turn into Jerry Springer Live.
That's fine. That's fine by me. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.